These two particular graves may be the only two in existence here in the United States. What's up, Exeters? So for this video, we came to a small little community in Pennsylvania. It's about 20 miles or so, 20 minutes from Centralia. So if you're in the area doing, or seeing that, this is definitely a spot you want to hit up. It's way off the beaten path. So basically we've parked kind of a little down because there's a house up here, private residence. So we didn't want to trespass on their property or anything. But this little tiny cemetery we're about to show you was formerly called Mount Zion Cemetery. I feel like there's like that name of a church or cemetery in every state. Literally, Alabama has like so many Mount Zion churches, cemeteries, whatever. But they changed the name to the Hooded Grave Cemetery. And we're going to tell you why, because there's something really cool about the cemetery. So, according to findagrave.com, these two particular graves may be the only two in existence here in the United States. These type of graves are common like overseas, but not here, which makes this really cool. So there's different theories on why these graves are like this, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But we're going to show you the graves first. So originally there were 3 of them, but currently there's only 2. Both of the people buried here are women. They both died in their early 20s. And from the information I found about it, they both passed away near delivering a baby. So it's thought maybe they died from complications from childbirth. So this first one here, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name entirely correct, and it's hard to read her tombstone. You can clearly make out Thomas on there, but the first name is Asneth, I think. But if I'm saying that correctly, Asneth Campbell Thomas. And she's actually sister-in-laws to the other lady that's buried in the other grave. And the crazy thing about it is they both passed away within 6 days of each other back in the 1800s. So the second grave over here is Sarah Ann Thomas Boone. And she had a child that was born 16 days prior to her death.
This one's all grown up. You can see right there. Maybe you can see it in the camera. It's a tombstone sticking up, but it's so overgrown that you can't see it like you can the other one.
All right, so you might be like asking yourself, why exactly are these graves covered like this? And like I said, there's a couple of different possibilities. One, maybe it's supernatural. Maybe they're trying to keep something in.
Interesting.
Who knows? I mean, they were thinking maybe vampire or werewolf or some other kind of supernatural thing. So that's one possibility.
Because that was a big fear back then.
Another possibility that's highly likely is the fact that back when these ladies died, grave robbing was a big issue. So they would come dig up freshly buried bodies, and they would take these bodies to do medical experiments on. Benjamin Franklin was a prime person and a recipient of these stolen bodies. Another speculated theory is that, you know, iron was a big thing back then. So maybe this family wanted to show their wealth. Maybe they were like involved with like the iron industry and they wanted to have these decorative graves. So they built these to show their prestige basically to the community. But one thing that kind of debunks that is the fact that there are more women buried here that are related to these two that don't have these cages. So what makes these two so special to have these cages and not the other ones?
Okay, I like the first theory of maybe they thought they were trying to keep something from getting out.
I mean, that would be the coolest theory.
I mean, it is a little weird if these women buried here are related to these two. And like you said, there's, as you can see, these are the only two. The other graves right here don't have any cages over them. But that one and that one does. And they were the two that were sisters.
Sister-in-laws.
Or sister-in-laws. So...
very, very interesting.
I would say for that time period, though, because we all know, you know, vampires, werewolves, mythical creatures, whatever. But
and,
witches...
you know, iron, that particular material is something, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but
it keeps...
I mean, iron deters ghosts. I mean, it deters... Some speculate that, you know, it keeps witches from getting out. Witches back then were a big deal. More so than the vampire werewolf thing. So that could be leaning more towards a possibility. They thought these two were witches. Iron keeping them in. Maybe iron, once they pass away, iron also keeps their spirit from being able to get out and terrorize, or in some cases being brought back to life.
I mean, either way it goes, like the truth of these particular graves has been lost with time. So all you can do is speculate and decide which theory you think is more logical. But regardless of that, it's very unique. You see, they got the little bird on the ends.
Hers doesn't have a bird. Either that or it's been stolen or knocked off. But I find it odd too that this particular grave, you can see the slab and the tombstone pretty good. It's even looks like it's recessed down because you can actually stick your foot under there. But the other one, the sister-in-law over there, is all grown up. You can't see anything. You can barely see a headstone popping up, but it's like, why is that one all grown up? But this one isn't. Because you would think if you can't cut in there, it should look like that one over there.
I mean, one reason
that's kind of weird.
One reason they say that, you know, that the keeping something in or out is unlikely is because they said that these are not very sturdy, basically, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty heavy. It's heavy
you're
to me.
pulling on it and it's not moving.
Maybe I don't know if it goes into the ground or it's just sitting on the ground and it's heavy.
I would say at least the four corners are got to be in the ground.
But like you said, it's interesting that this is not growing up more than that.
Yeah, I mean,
because it almost looks like something's been in here cleaning it.
Mm-hmm. It's a little weird.
All right, so tell us what you think in the comments. Which theory do you believe is more likely for these two women and the hooded graves?